All right, guys. So this is episode number 2. Welcome back. Thank you for watching. And today we're going to talk a little bit about our name. So last time we filmed our first podcast, we didn't even have a name, a title. We didn't have a logo, but Jesus and I, we talked about how, like, you know what? Sometimes we can't just talk about things. We just got to take action.
Yeah. And that's essentially how we started, man. What was it, like 2 weeks ago? We're like, man, we should make a podcast. We didn't even have a name. We have camera equipment just sitting around, and we're just like, let's get 2 mics and let's see what happens. And then we actually thought about it. I think after we filmed the first episode, right? We're like,
we thought it was almost like, what's the word? A metaphor that we jumped over a cliff.
Yeah.
And while we're falling down, we built a freaking airplane. Like we built a parachute or whatever. Like I can't remember what we said, but that was it. You know, but the cool thing about this is the fact that, you know, honestly, and we did talk about this. Like, this is my 3rd attempt of doing a podcast.
Yeah.
I know you've been thinking about it, and like I tried one a couple years ago. I tried to imitate this like Hot Ones type of video.
Yeah.
The editing was such a pain. It's such a pain. I was gonna say bitch, but it was such a bitch to do it. So I got kind of scared away. But it's been always on top of mind for me to do this again. And you know what I told Jesus throughout this journey of us, like 2 weeks ago, that I feel like, you know what, God like put me here for a reason. We reconnected, and you know, the podcast wasn't just for me; it was for us.
Yeah,
you know? And that's how I see it.
And it's essentially what breaks down. Like, this is what I tell people all the time: apply everything you do the same way. Like, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. I preach it, I live by it, and it's essentially what we did, dude. We're like, dude, you know what would be cool? The deep conversations we freaking have. Let's put it out there. And we're just like, the whole intention of it is like, if we can get through one person that's going through the same common struggles we're going through, dude, it's freaking beneficial.
Dude, yeah, man. Like,
dude, let's tell them the name, bro.
So all right. So we're gonna talk about like the name. So
tell them the name.
Our total, like everything, like it's the ongoing struggles and success, and pretty much like what that is, it's, you know, life.
Yeah.
Everything's ongoing. Like, we're always gonna see struggles. And, you know, the success represents, like, after what were the things that we did to overcome.
Yeah.
And obviously, when we overcame, there's success afterwards. So,
and that's one of the things, like, just to add to that, it's just everybody has this misconception that everybody's up and up, right? And
Instagram.
You look on Instagram, you look on social media, and you're like, damn, bro, there's all success and no struggles. Like, what the is the back end? We want to know what the back end of a business.
We both know people that like in our on social media and even in our inner circle that they only talk about the success and never really, like, nobody. I feel like nobody wants to talk about their, like, the struggles, the pain, the sadness, the hardship of going through that. So. You know, with that being said, that's pretty much the title and what it represents. And so for our concept of the show, it's going to be about, like, it's going to be us. We're going to talk about things that we struggled in the past. And also, too, when we get guests on, we're going to talk about their struggles of starting a business, anything, and their success stories afterwards.
And it kind of goes to show you, like, just to cut you off right there, but it goes to show you, like, no matter what business or industry you're in, it's all
the same thing. The fundamentals, and that's the cool thing about us. Like, when we reconnected, I was going through some stuff, and I was telling, like, man, I'm struggling. I was thinking, like, I did talk about the first episode that I was thinking about getting a job, but then I was like, no. And then, you know, one thing that like, you know, why I felt like it was a good connection for you and I, because, like, I was telling you I was struggling, and your first instinct was like, hey, Ben, you know what? I got some dead leads that they didn't want to wholesale. Yeah. I was like, why don't you call them? And like, to me, that shows your character, bro. Like, hey, like you see a friend struggling, you're like, hey, I got your back. Here's what we could do. Yeah. Have I converted anything? No, but it's the intention and the action that eventually I will convert something.
And that's the thing is that people have to understand is, like, dude, if you're a true friend, you're not just gonna, like, dude, I could hand you some money. Yeah. But that's not what things are about. Like, bro, like, the saying is, like, you could give a man a fish, feed him for the day, or show a man how to fish, give him a rod, and
he'll eat for a lifetime. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I could, like, dude,
I'm grateful for that. I appreciate it.
I see that shit all the time, bro. Where people are like, they're like, oh, you're a piece of shit. Like, you see these people struggling, and you like, don't you get that misconception of rich people of, like. Yeah. Oh, like, look at all these people.
We're all guilty of it, even us, dude.
Yeah, dude, we do it all the time.
Yeah, we're like, but we're human. Nobody's perfect, dude. So, And that's one of the things that I like. I wanted to put out there, like to just that I want to talk about like your character. You're a nice dude, and this is where we're gonna transition. So like one of the episodes that we're like today's episode, we're gonna talk about
last time. Right?
Yeah, we did talk about a little bit. Like I cut you off. You made me blush, but we're gonna talk about like quote unquote fake news and rumors and how that it is a struggle in the past. And for you, like, do you want to share like your experience of what you deal with?
So
like being a wholesaler?
Just to elaborate what Ben is trying to say, a lot of you don't know what goes on is, especially it's an ongoing thing, especially with realtors and quote unquote wholesalers. I don't consider myself a wholesaler, just FYI, it's a real estate investor. But yeah, I'm a wholesaler essentially. I wholesale properties. The thing is that one of the struggles that we get, especially in the industry of being, I'm both. So a lot of people that are wholesalers are just wholesalers. A lot of people that are real estate agents are just real estate agents. And there's a lot of people, not a lot, but people are trying to fill in the gap and have people work together, agents and wholesalers. And common misconception of that a lot of us get is just that we're scamming people. What a lot of people think is that
hey, just like full disclosure, I was one of those people. Yeah. And I'm gonna and this is like I want to give you guys some insight. So ever since I started working with Jesus and Jesus and I, we started doing some collaboration with some stuff.
Let's talk about what you thought. Yeah.
And while I'm here, I've been working on some marketing stuff, like building my CRM.
Yeah.
And I'm overhearing your conversations, and this is what I'm hearing. So every time you call somebody, obviously, like you are running a business.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find a solution for somebody that is in need to sell. Right. Like in some cases, some people that have houses that are tore up and they need to invest money. Some people don't want to sell with an agent, and if they do, like we have to tell them like, hey, you have to fix the house or do this and that, or if not, expect the lowest. But you come in there and I hear you and saying like, hey, I can offer you this, and they're like, no, I most people are educated now, and then you offer, all right, you know what, if that doesn't work for you, here's another solution. We can list it on the market, right. and you're giving them options. Yeah. It isn't just like come on, dude, like come on, like just sign, lowest sign price. Right here, and it's like, all right, you're finding a solution, because in some situations, it does make sense to sell with an investor, right. Because hey, Ben, I don't want to deal with this. I want to get rid of it, and I have dealt with that.
You had one, right? Remember the listing you had, that same shit happened?
Yeah. So I had a house that they we were trying to sell, and there was a lot of break-ins in the house.
It was in Maryville. If you guys don't know Maryville,
yeah, it's the hood. and they ended up like stealing some plumbing, and it flooded the house, dude. So my seller was, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. I had an investor. He ended up buying it or whatever. Mm-hmm. He remodeled, fixed all the drywall, all the issues that it had, and all that stuff. And he ended up selling. Right. So, but at that time, it made sense. Right. Not every situation is the same, right. But this is something that I guess like I'm doing a little bit of a PR cleanup. Just PR, right? Yeah, PR. Just I'm helping his out. What does the acronym mean? Like public relationships. Yeah. That's what I'm doing for you, Jesus.
But there's like, okay, we can say all the good things about what we do and wholesalers, but bro, like at the end of the day, like I'm being 100% transparent. There's people like wholesalers that I know personally, like, dude, they would intentionally like put someone under contract and like do like a couple weeks before closing, like, oh, we have to be at a $20,000-$30,000 less. And I feel like those are the people a lot of people are talking about, and I feel like they should be like a sense of like, I would say like regulations, because right now it's just like everybody's out.
It's like the Wild West with you guys.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like that's why realtors became.
Yeah, we like, honestly, we fucking hate you guys. Like, yeah, like I'm being real. Like we're like, you guys have a bad rep, but again, like I said, not everybody's the same. Mm-hmm. And for to go back on this whole, people spreading rumors or lies or having this perception. Like I personally have dealt with that stuff. Like I've been canceled in the past. Like and it's something that like.
I feel like it's a kind of thing where if you know your true character of who you are as a human being, it goes to show you in your business, because you can be like that dickhead that tries to freaking screw a lot of people over. Dude, this is all the relationships games when it comes all down to it. And if you somebody over in the industry, they're gonna know, and they're gonna be like, you know what, I'm not gonna deal with this guy no more. And guess what? The seller ends up the seller can file a report against you if you try to them over one way or another. And dude, I've seen people get sued because of that, where they're like, oh, he freaking did this. I personally been in a couple lawsuits myself where situations like that occur, and I'm like, dude, at the end of the day, like a lot of those guys, they won't survive. You know, we're in a good market right now that we're in, where it's no longer a bull market. You can't just throw a freaking fish net and everybody's gonna get fish.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna really whittle out the people that are like been doing shitty business, been trying to scam people or whatever the case may be, and you're gonna see who really thrives in this business and who really is like, they look, I have morals and ethics, and like being a realtor helped me out in that aspect of like, dude, I'm here to genuinely help, bro, because at the end of the day, I believe in karma. So if like, dude, I someone over for 10-20 grand, dude,
is it worth it in the end? Is it worth it? You potentially could lose your license because, you know, Jesus is licensed.
Yeah.
And also too, like, are you gonna be able to sleep on it unless you're a dirtbag? And personally, like, you know, the reason why we connect is because, like, you know, you're a good person. I want to surround myself with, you know, like-minded individuals, and I don't think you'll do that. Or at least from what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? Perception is reality, but
it's just like
at least from my view.
Why would you do that in any aspects of business, bro? And just one client alone, bro, that I helped purchase their property, she recommended me her neighbor, her mom, and her sister. So 3 transactions happened. If I would have screwed that one person over, I wouldn't have had those 3 transactions either, bro. So it's like a relationship-based kind of business. And I feel like you can talk more about it too, like where like you've been canceled and you were fucking shut down, dude.
Yeah, I was, dude. I you know, like a couple years ago, I tried to start a media company, and I had a guy that worked for me before, and you know, things didn't work out or whatever, but like I don't want to get into too much details about that, but in a nutshell, like he pretty much spread some lies about me that I didn't pay him, that I was abusive or whatever. But you know, it's whatever, dude. Like there were some people that stopped answering the calls,
right?
But it goes back to perception, and nobody gave the I guess, like, which it doesn't really matter, but nobody gave me the opportunity to kind of like tell my side of the story. But in the end, it didn't matter because everything happens for a reason. Everything's like, you know, in the end, everything's okay. And this is the reason why we, you know, our podcast is called the struggles, success. Like ongoing struggles and success. You know, I went through my struggles, but in the end, like I overcame them, and I feel like, am I rich? Am I? Do I have like a, you know, a freaking Lambo in my house? No, I don't. But do I have a happy home? My fiance and I have a great relationship. We're friends. Like, and I have a great relationship with my older son, my baby, my mom and dad, like my family. Like I'm happy, bro. Like so to me,
the core value's still there, bro.
Exactly. And then to me, it's like, all right, like in the end, like success doesn't mean a Lambo in a big house or none of that. Like to me, success is happy within your mind, your heart, and then like that's it. The rest of the shit, dude, like the materialistic things with money and cars and all those things, like do we want them? Yeah, bro. Like I own Airbnb, and I'm trying to, like, you know, that's a residual income that I'm like I'm trying to create wealth for my family, and that's all I'm trying to do, man.
That's what it is. And it's funny that you mentioned that, like, so just to pick your brain, just get a little like off topic real quick. In the same topic, like, what do you think would have helped out if like someone's going through something like that, where they're like getting shut out, or like not shut out, or like someone spreading rumors? Because I was listening to, was it Kim Kardashian or no, I was the Shia LaBeouf podcast. They're saying he was going through some shit, and some girl was spreading rumors or whatever, whether it was whether it was real or not. He's like, I wanted to come out and just say all the shit that was really true. I had screenshots, I had everything. But he goes, no, I wanted to be the bigger person. But they're like, in reality, it kind of hurt him, because then people were creating their own reality of like, oh, he's not saying shit because he probably isn't paying, you know, the employer, whatever, for your situation. And I'm like, what do you think? You think you handled the situation perfectly? Or do you think like you can either do one or two things, man? Like one, you can hide like a little girl and cry about it, or you can, you know, say, you know what, this is what I am, this is who I am, and this is what's gonna happen. Because that's what I kind of did. Yeah. Right. And what did you do? How did you overcome it? And like, what you?
So yeah, man. When I went through that stuff, you know, I did honestly go through some like depression and whatnot, and because it was something that I never dealt with in my life before, but in the end, you know what I realized, and you and I have like talked about this before, and we have like this, we kind of had this breakthrough recently, an epiphany, where we don't, like, I used to think this thing of, I used to think about this saying, kill him with kindness. And then you came back and you said what? to me?
You remember I said
Like, yeah, just say what was your response
It's gonna
to
be
that?
a video.
Like, so hey, we both have our own personality.
Yeah.
So like,
I
what
said-
did you say?
'cause
What was
I
your
used to-
response?
I
to
used to think the same way. Like Ben is like, dude, you kill people with kindness and be sweet to them and let them be whatever. But I said, F that. Don't kill people with kindness. You know what you should do? You kill them with results. And then once you show the results, then you can go up to them and admire them like, hey, what's up? Because then it shows you like, bro, like you could talk shit to me. You could do all this shit on social media, point fingers, be whatever the it is. I'm still going to do me. I'm going to succeed in my business.
Yeah. Hey, look at his biceps. Look at his like hey, camera one over there. Look at his biceps. Like I saw the veins come out. But hey. But you know what? One of the things
it's something I'm really passionate
yeah,
about.
I know, I get it. But that's the thing, dude. That you know what? Like I we had this talk about. You know what? None of that matters.
Right.
Like no killing with kindness. Like let's not kill them with results. Like, dude, let's just stay focused on what we're doing. Everything else doesn't matter because it's not worth our energy. Because like our energy now should be into creating of what we are what we want to do for ourselves, which is like obviously we have this podcast project, we have other things in the pipeline that we're working on or whatever, but that's where our energy should be.
But that's
and
what's,
be a killer in that,
bro. That's what's so crazy. It's just I was talking about me and Ben been talking about this the whole time, like a long time. It's just that like I always had that conception of like, oh, stay in your own path, stay in your own path, and that's what I've been doing in the last that's what I thought I was doing in the last 5 years. But I was always comparing myself to other people, and that's one of the things.
Dude,
because it's right in front of you, bro.
Yeah.
So you have social media just right there. You're scrolling, and like you see Kim Kardashian, you can see someone famous, like they have a Lambo, they got a brand new Lambo, they got a brand new house. You're not really like feeling any sort of way. But once you start seeing your peers, like, oh, he just got this brand new freaking G-Wagon or Lambo or Ferrari, and you're just like, dude, he's my age. What the is he doing versus what I'm doing? And it just puts you in this little shell of like,
oh man,
maybe I'm not doing good enough. And then and that like social media, bro. And that's why like last freaking 2 weeks, I muted Instagram. I told myself I'm only gonna be a producer, not a consumer. So I'm not gonna consume this energy anymore. And I want to produce content, bro. So I was like, I feel good that I'm like, dude, if I see you like next week with a freaking Lambo, I'm gonna be like, bro, I'm good for you.
Congrats,
but I'm going back to my shit.
Yeah.
So like I'm staying in my fucking lane. Like I'm gonna give you props. I'm not gonna hate on you. Oh, Ben probably just got a Lambo because he did a good play in stocks or whatever.
Or for you, he's scammed like an old lady for a house.
An old lady.
Yeah, no big deal. But but yeah, dude, I could totally relate to what you're saying because like a couple months ago, when the interest rates went up in the market, like everything shifted. And it was almost like a hard stop in the market. Mm-hmm. And I there's a couple of friends. There's this successful friend of mine that he used to work with me in Wells Fargo, and he's a young guy. He's, I don't know, probably like 6-7 years younger than me. And he's been active for 3-4 years, and he's like, 10 million plus producer. And I'm like, dang. But for a minute, I was like, dang, that guy's like, he just started, and I'm kind of struggling over here. But then I was like, you know what? Everybody has their own journey.
Right.
Everybody has their own, again, quotation marks, their ideal their idea of success. Yeah. And that's what it is. So for me, my journey, honestly, dude, when I started a company in the past, and I had a team, I made my time, my money for everybody else. And I never put myself first. And I was literally, and this is, I guess, this is the reason why it hurt so much when I was going through everything, with the whole media stuff, because I gave from my plate. Yeah. I guess this is gonna be my video where I kind of share a little bit of this is my Shia LaBeouf, whatever, Shia LaBeouf or Shia LaBeouf, whatever his name is, moment where I'm gonna say a little bit of my story or whatever. Yeah. But I used to give when we were slow, bro. I would literally be like, you know what, I'm gonna create a job for him. Yeah. Like, hey man, help me out with a video. Here's $80-$100 or whatever. You know what I mean? And I gave from my plate to feed others. And I realized you know what. I put my family last. Number one, I put myself last. I put my family last as well. And I hurt myself. Yeah. So I just didn't, I didn't have a balance. So what I learned this time around, and even after I went through all that, it's what's really important to me, what success is. I want to be at home as much as possible. I do come to the office a couple of days out of the week but I try to be kind of like our workouts. Right. Dude, we have a routine that's literally an hour, but it's the most intense workout. Yeah, we're there for an hour.
We put our headphones on and we're just boom, 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 bang them out,
That's
bang
it.
them out, bang them out, and
So
we're
30,
in and out.
30 to 40 minutes of lifting and 30 minutes of cardio.
Yeah.
An hour and 10 minutes, we walk out like, you know, I'm just seeing, I can't stop staring at his bicep right now.
Dude, so I switched up the routine. I noticed on all my videos I have my James shirt, so I'm like, you know what? Let me go a little
casual.
casual.
Yeah,
Show the
so-
little biceps.
Yeah, show a little bit of that, but anyways, dude, like it's crazy because you know the idea is like, hey, we could get an aggressive workout done and effective in such a little time. So my thing is like, all right, I want to be here like, you know, 2 or 3 days out of the week, and I'm super effective, you know, putting out content, you know, touching with past clients and whatnot, and that's the idea because I want to be with my kids, man.
Yeah.
And to me, because that's important
that's
for
the
me.
thing, yeah.
Like, and for people that like, and this is not for like to say like, oh, my way is the right way. No, dude, if you
It goes to
wanna,
show you like you gotta
what you
pick
want.
your priorities. Like
yeah,
pick
whatever,
your priorities.
whatever's important. So like if you're single, you have no kids, and you want that Lambo, dude, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's all
go get
right.
it.
That's your thing.
That's right.
Like the problem becomes like, and even with society is that people have this expectation that my way is the right way.
Exactly.
So and it isn't, and that's
Why?
and that's
Because
usually
we're mirrored, bro, through
Yeah.
social media. Like, this is the way you should do it. You should wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You should be working 12 hours a day. Like, bro, like people like to say like, oh, you're crazy for waking up at 4. I used to be that person. Like,
I
dude,
did
you
too.
can wake up at 4, and I'm like, dude, I could wake up at 8 and still get more done. But the thing is, for my journey and my path, like I want to, because I do a lot of virtual wholesaling on the East Coast. So I'm like, dude, I have to be up by like 4, get this freaking workout in, and be at the office by 8, because at 8 it's already like 11 over there, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, I have to be.
you got to be doing your thing, bro.
Right? So it's like, just like you said, bro, like, stop looking at everybody else's nonsense on the internet. Like, dude, that's their journey. You don't know what they're going through.
Yeah.
So what if they have some sense of responsibility, or they need to be somewhere at something? That's why they wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, instead of like pointing fingers, talking shit about like, oh, this guy thinks he's all the shit because
Yeah, man.
blah,
Stop
blah.
the hating, bro. Stop the hating, and like to me, you know what? Like,
I love the hate, by the way. I want it. I want all the hate.
I at this point, like, I mean, like, that's good that you're having fun. For me, it's like, it's not mine.
Yeah.
It's not my energy. That negativity is not mine.
Yeah.
And I'm just focused on me. And I'm at this point where it's like my love for content creation, like, you know, like, just so you guys know, I'm pretty much, I give myself the title of producer,
Dude,
director.
All my videos,
podcast.
like most of my videos that we just started filming,
and you've been getting good feedback, bro.
dude, and that's one of my things that I didn't want to do. Dude, common excuses. I never want to do. Everybody keeps telling me do content, but I just didn't know how to light that spark and like create. Because I had my boy. My boy does my videos. Shout out Edwin. He does a really good job.
He's talented.
But just because he's not in the business, he didn't know how to like spark up like ideas for me. And I'm like, dude, I have all this knowledge, but like, Ben helped me. You help me attract them out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like, just because you're a realtor, you're like, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that, or maybe you should talk about this. Like, dude, I genuinely have a question about wholesaling. I think it's a scam. So what I do, I did a freaking video on
and you got good feedback. People were
really good
engaging,
feedback, yeah.
and so, and that's one of the things that like, I'm back to my passion.
Fuck yeah.
You know, and I'm happy, and I'm glad, and this is the thing is like that, like, I feel like the reason why you and I work so well together, and we even talked about this morning on our bike ride back to, you know, we're gonna go our separate ways. Yeah, we spread. Yeah, we go all the way to, what is it, like Central and Roosevelt, and we just go home from there.
Yeah.
So we're talking about that. You know what? Like, the reason why we're like, I feel like this is working for us is that you have your strengths and I have my strengths, and we see each other's value. And and number one, it's like every time that we talk about something like, hey, this, you know, what do you think about this podcast? We say our input.
Yeah.
And I genuinely, even though, like, you know, I kind of take lead to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like, your opinion matters.
Yeah.
Cause like, yeah, I know I'm pretty creative and all that, but like, dude, you bring so much to the table. And this is a thing too, that I feel like it feels like almost like when you're in a relationship, like, hey man, this guy like buys me roses. He's a good guy. So anyway, so he listens to me and we both listen to you, and that's how it should work, dude.
Yeah.
And
that's one of the biggest thing I think when you're entering partnerships, because I had a couple partnerships here and there, but it's like one of the things, as for me, is like, dude, and even for yourself, like, I'm a fucking leader, so like it's hard for me to just, and this is why I think it's hard for a lot of people, because
dude, I get it.
It's like you're a leader and you're like, no, I'm fucking right.
Yeah.
But dude, the moment I started realizing is like, dude, put the ego aside And I listened to
Oh.
everybody. Bro, I remember last time I was having a conversation with a homeless man. And like, dude, I was just talking to him and he was telling me all this shit about, dude, he was telling me about business. Obviously, I'm not going to be a dickhead like everybody else would be like, what do you know, right? But I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I genuinely want to know. Like, dude, you never know. And I picked up something that he
learn.
said to me
Yeah.
and I'm like, you know what? That's good to know.
It makes sense. Yeah.
And it's like stop being an asshole and be like, oh, because I have better things than you do, I'm not gonna listen to you. Obviously, you can't take that, but like, dude, you just see a different output in life. Like,
No, definitely. I totally like agree with you that like, you know, once we put the ego aside,
yeah,
because I remember, I guess like you were kind to me, you wanted to support me, and in return I was like, hey, you know what, dude, let me hook you up with some videos or whatever, and I was doing the editing,
brought value,
and
bro.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the
and
good
and
thing.
I'm grateful for that, and we had that little mini trade. You didn't even ask, just to be clear, you didn't ask for it.
I didn't.
I offered it, and I said, hey, because
That's
to
one
me,
thing I
see-
learned, though. That's one thing I
see,
learned.
yeah,
Yeah.
and one thing when I was editing and I was taking a long time, you told me like, hey man, and I'm never gonna forget this, and this shows your character and why I love you as a brother. Is like, hey man, your time is valuable. I appreciate it. Like, I know you're coming here to try to get some work done. I don't want you so focused on me, dude.
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, let's try to hire somebody out. Let's outsource it. And then so we were like, all right, cool. So we outsource it now. So a lot of the editing, like, I outsource. Could I do it myself? Yeah, man, I can.
Yeah.
And I'm talented enough to do that. But I realized one thing that I learned from you, because I didn't say like, all right, Jesus, you know, Jesus used to be part of my team back in the day. He, you know, like, how old are you?
26.
Okay,
I think. I don't know.
December, right?
Yeah.
So he's 25. I'm 35. I'm 10 years older than you, and my ego should be like, number one, I'm like, hey, I'm almost 6 feet tall. I'm bigger than him. He used to work for me in a way, you know,
Yeah.
like. What are you gonna bring? No, man. I'm like, that's some bullshit shit. Like, I'm like, no, bro. Like, you genuinely gave me some good advice. And I'm like, could I have been closed-minded, like you just said about that homeless guy? Yeah, but I was like, no, I'm gonna listen to it, and it makes sense,
Dude,
bro. Now it's like, all right, I create the meat because I do enjoy creating the content.
Yeah.
But like, there's some other stuff that I just rather if it's gonna take me more than 15 or 30 minutes to
Dude,
take
outsource
care
it.
of, I'm gonna fucking outsource.
I
it.
learned that the biggest way is like, dude, you have to know what you're really good at and what you're passionate about. Because I bet you anything, when you ran your media company, you're just like, I love creating the content, but it got overwhelming because of what? The editing. And people, and I'm like, dude, so in my business, that's what I started focusing on is like, what do I really like doing? I really like talking to sellers. I really like talking to sellers, creating a solution to their problems, but I don't like talking to like selling the deal. So I hired a dispo company. I'm like, you know what? You guys, I get the deals. You sell them. Yeah, I do take a portion of the cut. They cut off the meat.
Yeah.
But I'm like, bro, like
That's-
if I'm too busy generating a shitload of business, imagine if I was trying to do both. Then I'm like, dude, that business would have been cut in half. And it's the same thing. Is like, you have to realize what you're really like
What your
doing
strength is.
and your strength is, and just go with that and attack those things primarily, because then you get drained. That's how you get drained. And then you're like, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. It starts being a job instead of a passion project. And now you're just like, man, this shit, it's too much work. You know what? I'm just gonna like, I'm not gonna do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I value your time as well, bro, because I value people's time, dude. And I'm like,
I'm
if,
big on
if
that,
you're gonna
dude.
respect, like the ultimate sign of respect is value my time. Don't come here with like everybody, and especially when you're an entrepreneur, everybody, and then you're doing well, they're like, oh, let me pick your brain, And I'm like, bro, like, I like working with guys that bring value. Like, if you don't have anything, if you think you don't have anything, bro, offer labor, like free labor, dude. That's basically what I did with you guys. I'm like, bro, like, I don't know what the I'm doing with this real estate thing. Let me just go work for you guys. I'm down to do whatever the you guys want me to. And when I learn
and
out the way,
we put ego aside, man. So
dude.
what is the biggest thing that like you want to tell people like regarding everything we talked about today?
Yeah, bro. So it all comes down to our concept of the whole title is struggles and success. It's basically what we want to do, and we want to like share with the world. Like, dude, we're basic human beings. Like, you can look at
perfect.
You can look at my Instagram. I'm guilty of it. I only show like the goods because I generally, the only reason why I show the good is to spread positivity, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I want to show you guys that it's possible. And like, dude, that's why we do it. That's why everybody does it. But we're here to get real. We're here to get raw as and we want to show you guys that, dude, we're regular people. We go through struggles all the time, but that's just God giving you, like, telling you, like, dude, in order to get to that next level, you got to overcome this shit.
Yeah, man.
You know
So I at least for me, like, you know, Jesus went pretty deep on that. For me, is like ignore the noise.
Yeah.
Ignore it. Your time, it doesn't matter what it is, anger, resentment, like whatever it is that like all the outside noise, the rumors, everything, or whatever it is, like even within yourself. Because like when we created the podcast, it was just kind of like I confess to you, I was like, man, are people gonna watch? But then I've been getting positive feedback. We got 6 subscribers, bro.
Oof.
And what? Just kidding.
I know, right?
But hey,
we're gonna watch back on this and we're gonna be like, damn, bro, we started.
Hey, that's good, dude. But all right, man. So like, Jesus, what's your call of action?
Yeah, man.
How can people reach you and find
Dude,
you, man?
if you love what I'm saying, what I'm spreading, just follow me on Instagram. That's where I love to post. I don't know why. I just love Instagram. I'm starting on TikTok. I don't know why I don't get as much engagement on TikTok.
Me too, dude.
But Facebook, it's all Jesus Mendez. Jesus Mendez. Follow me. Let's go, bro. Where can they reach you at, Ben? All
right, guys. So you can find me at Ben the Realtor, and if you're watching this on Instagram. Actually, yeah, wherever you see this. If you follow me on Instagram, you could actually hit the link in my bio, and I have a tab on there that says "Let's Be Friends" on Facebook, and we could connect like that as well, man. So, cool. But yeah, man, this is it.
Let's do it, baby.
This is episode 2.
Episode
done.
2.
We'll see you guys next week.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, guys.